Next item.
Item 7C, waive first reading and introduce ordinances repealing and amending portions of San Bruno Muni Code Title I General Provisions and repealing and amending portions of Title II Administration and Personnel, Chapter 2.04.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. We're here tonight to introduce new ordinances for Title I and Title II of our municipal code. And as you'll recall, we're in the process of, and just started the process of amending our municipal code, the entirety of it, all 11 titles, for three main reasons. First of all, we want to make sure that you have a code that updates you to the 21st century. Second of all, we want to make sure that that code conforms to state law. And thirdly, we want to make sure that the code is internally consistent. So I'll just take a minute and walk you through a couple of the major changes to Title I and Section 2.04 of Title II. So the main changes in Title I, as we discussed last time, is we're having a 10-day appeal period for other actions that aren't otherwise talked about in the municipal code. That's so it's internally consistent with other provisions. We're also proposing to add a section that developers reimburse the city for costs of public records requests for responding to those that are related to that particular development. And then finally, and perhaps most importantly, we're eliminating reference to the city jail. In Title II, the two main changes have to do with the declaring the results of council member elections and making sure that those are done both at the right time, in the right place, and under the right circumstances. And then I think the most significant change in Title II, Section 2.04, there was discussion last time about the selection of the vice mayor. And I think it's fair to say the consensus was that once this is adopted and effective, which will be after the first December meeting, then the vice mayor selection system will change to the language that's reflected here in the ordinance that you approved last time. So the City Council would use the current system to select the vice mayor for calendar year 2019. So as soon as we have a report from our consultants, the code publishing folks, that's expected in about 2 months, so we should have that by December. They're going to go through the entire 11 titles and tell us things that we need to change. So that will be our opportunity then to continue through Title II and then Title III, and we'll bring those to you sequentially after the first of the year as soon as we can and as soon as the City Council meeting schedule allows. So for tonight, the action requested would be to waive the first reading and introduce these ordinances. They have exactly the changes that were shown in the last staff report. There's nothing different about them. And then if the ordinances are introduced tonight, then we would bring them back at the next meeting on the consent calendar for adoption. So that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the city attorney? Any action by council? We need to waive the first reading.
Motion to waive the first reading?
Motion made and seconded to waive the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If somebody would introduce.
I'll introduce the amendments for the vote.
Right, so it would be a motion to introduce for both Title I and Title II.
Okay.
As reflected in the staff report.
All right. So a motion to approve both titles.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell. Aye. Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Davis. Aye. Mayor Medina.
Aye.
Thank you very much.